Annette Funicello is a name synonymous with innocence, charm, and the post-war ideal of American wholesomeness. Born in 1942 in Utica, New York, and raised in Southern California, Annette's early life was far from glamorous. Her Italian-American family valued stability, obedience, and conformity. Raised in a working-class environment, Annette was taught to avoid drawing attention to herself and to adhere to the unspoken rule of being proper. Growing up with this emphasis on quiet compliance, Annette became accustomed to stepping back in social settings, letting others take the lead while she quietly blended into the background. Dance and music were introduced into her life not as an expression of personal passion, but as a way to ensure she followed the rules and maintained composure, a skill that would stay with her throughout her career. The discovery that changed everything. At age 12, Annette's life took a dramatic turn when she performed in Swan Lake at the Starlight Bowl in Burbank, California. This was not a moment of destiny for Annette. It was simply another performance that needed to be executed with precision. When Walt Disney saw her perform, he immediately recognized her potential and invited her to audition for the Mickey Mouse Club. Annette, however, did not see this as a turning point in her life. She was apprehensive and confused about the attention, as she had always been taught to stay in the background and avoid being noticed. Yet, in 1955, she was cast as one of the original Mouseketeers. Though the idea of fame was foreign to her, she quickly adapted to the disciplined rhythm of being a part of the show, becoming America's sweetheart. Annette's journey to fame on the Mickey Mouse Club was not built on a single breakout moment. Instead, her popularity grew gradually. Initially, she was not positioned as the star of the show, but appeared in dance numbers and skits. However, the audience quickly took notice of her. By the end of the first season, Annette received more fan mail than any other Mouseketeer, with the volume of letters surpassing 6,000 a month. Despite this surge in attention, Annette didn't embrace it with excitement. Instead, she saw it as another responsibility. She dutifully signed autographs and responded to letters, following the studio's guidelines and maintaining her calm, proper demeanor. Her fan base grew, not because of her efforts to stand out, but because of her reliability and consistency, qualities that Disney saw as invaluable. A career defined by stability and control. Throughout her time on the Mickey Mouse Club and into her early years as a recording artist, Annette's career was controlled and managed by the Disney machine. By 1959, she was shifted into music, recording songs that were released under her name, moving beyond her Mouseketeer persona. Her single, Tall Paul, reached number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100, solidifying her status in the teen pop market. However, despite her success, Annette's career trajectory was tightly structured. She did not push boundaries or attempt to reinvent her image. Her workload increased steadily, but she rarely deviated from the familiar roles that Disney had designed for her. It was during this time that Annette filed a lawsuit against the Walt Disney Company to void the 7-year contract she had signed as a minor. Though her attempt was unsuccessful, it marked the first time Annette tried to assert some control over her career. Legal battles and Disney's power. In 1959, Annette's attempt to break free from Disney's control through legal action was met with resistance. She filed a lawsuit claiming that the contract she had signed as a minor should be voided, citing that she had no independent legal representation when she signed it. The court rejected her request, upholding the validity of the contract. This legal battle did not result in a change of circumstances for Annette. Her schedule continued unabated, and Disney's control over her career remained intact. Despite the lawsuit's failure, Annette remained silent about the court decision. she continued working as if nothing had happened, maintaining the same professional rhythm and never publicly confronting Disney or expressing dissatisfaction with the system that had shaped her life. Transitioning to film, the Beach Party series. In the early 1960s, Annette began appearing in family films as Disney transitioned her career into the mass-market film industry. The most notable shift came in 1963 with the film Beach Party, a low-budget movie that unexpectedly became a major hit. This marked the beginning of the Beach Party series, a franchise built on young, carefree fun which Annette was perfectly suited for. Despite the film's exaggerated comedy and wild characters, Annette's role remained consistent. She portrayed a calm, steady presence amidst the chaos, helping to maintain the film's structure. As sequels followed, Muscle Beach Party, Bikini Beach, and Beach Blanket Bingo, Annette's role remained largely unchanged. Her consistent image, unshaken by the louder, more flamboyant characters around her, made her the anchor of the franchise, drawing audiences back time and time again. The tension between two worlds. As the Beach Party films gained popularity, the entertainment industry began to push boundaries to keep up with changing youth tastes. The films became more provocative with revealing costumes and racier storylines. However, Annette remained a symbol of propriety and restraint. Even as the filmmakers pushed the boundaries, Disney's influence over Annette's image was still felt. Annette was expected to maintain her wholesome, proper persona, a stark contrast to the increasingly risque direction of the films. Behind the scenes, tensions began to arise as Annette's image was at odds with the evolving nature of the films. Despite these contradictions, Annette never voiced her concerns. She continued to work quietly, adhering to her familiar performance style and maintaining the public image that had been crafted for her. Struggling with image expectations. Throughout the Beach Party series, Annette's image remained intact, even as the surrounding environment became louder and more exaggerated. This contrast between her quiet, stable persona and the increasingly chaotic films reflected the broader tensions Annette faced in her career. On set, Annette was given specific instructions to keep her image proper. However, as the films became more provocative, her role within them remained unchanged. At times this led to subtle contradictions, such as when her costume was altered in post-production or when the framing of a scene seemed to push her beyond the boundaries of her established image. Despite these contradictions, Annette did not take any public stand. She did not object or ask for changes. She simply continued working within the structure that had been set for her, maintaining her familiar image and never attempting to challenge the expectations placed upon her. The quiet end of an era. By the late 1960s, the Beach Party series had run its course, and Annette's career in Hollywood began to wind down. The films became less frequent, and Annette's roles became smaller. In 1967, she starred in Thunder Alley, a film that was positioned as a more serious project but did not reignite her career. Afterward, Annette's presence in Hollywood faded. She made sporadic appearances on television, but her roles were limited and her screen time brief. By the 1970s, she was no longer leading major projects. Instead, her appearances were nostalgic, part of a shared memory with the audience that had grown up with her. There was no formal retirement or dramatic farewell. Instead, Annette simply stepped back from the spotlight, allowing her career to taper off quietly. Life beyond the spotlight. Annette's life after her film career slowed down was equally understated. She married actor and producer Jack Gilardi in 1965, and they had 3 children. Annette embraced motherhood and family life without fanfare or public spectacle. In the 1970s, she appeared in commercials, most notably for Skippy, where she portrayed a wholesome, middle-class mother. This was a far cry from her former image as America's sweetheart, yet it marked a new phase in her life. Annette did not try to reclaim the fame she had once enjoyed. Instead, she accepted her new position in life with the same quiet grace that had defined her career. She declined an invitation to appear in Greece, not because of a desire to escape the public eye, but because the terms did not suit her. Annette's decision to retire from public life was made without fanfare, and she quietly shifted her focus to her private life.